So now we are ready for some final touches of our projects. But before we get to that, I wanted to just spell out the order of events for today and on Monday. So you've already done steps 1 and 2, the video rehearsal and critiquing your videos, and then also that self-reflection. And although I'm not there to see it, I'm hoping that you feel more prepared on today's self-reflection than you did on yesterday's before we had done any rehearsal. Because what I was trying to demonstrate is that with rehearsal comes more confidence. Number 3, we're going to edit and proofread our slides one last time. Today we're going to transfer our scripts onto index cards like cue cards. Probably we won't get to number 5 until Monday, where we determine logistics and plan who stands where, who has the clicker, who goes to the next slide, and all of that. We're hoping to do a tech rehearsal run through. You might have to do that on your own. We'll talk about that on Monday. Also on Monday, we'll discuss professional clothing, and also on Monday, we'll teach you how to evaluate arguments. Getting started with step 3 right now, editing and proofreading your slides one last time. Although we've talked about this a little bit already, you want to make sure that it's professional. You don't want any grammar or mechanical errors. You want colors and fonts that are appropriate for the task. Think about what you're trying to get out of your audience when you present, and think about what you want your colors and all of that to convey. We have a little joke on the screen, like this is a sign outside of a school, and it says we are committed to excellence because it's a school. But the great irony here is that they spelled excellence wrong. They lose all credibility. You don't want something like that to happen in your presentation. I also want you to think about uniform spacing and font size. Like if you have too many spaces or things that are like not centered and that kind of thing, make it look how you want it to look. Obviously, things that need to be capitalized, punctuation, homophones like your and your, there, and there, and then make sure you have your works cited slides. This is a size 14. This is the word 96% at a size 30 font. Here it is at a size 43 font. Here it is at a size 72 font, and here it is at a size 96 font. So if you were wondering what it looks like on the smartboard, those are what some font sizes look like. All right, at this point, we're going to pause so that you can execute the editing. We want you to make sure that every mistake is addressed one slide at a time. And if you're not sure whether something is proper, just ask us. This is not the time for adding graphics or rehearsing or debating who says what. Right now, we're only focused on editing, and we'll pause this for about 5 minutes, and then we'll come back to it. Now we are moving on to making our cue cards. If you have your script, which is written in big paragraph chunks in front of you, the day that you're presenting and you're holding it up, you're going to be tempted to read from it verbatim, meaning word for word. Instead of allowing you to have your script in front of you the day of, what we need to do is just make cues or reminders to help you know what to say the day of, should you forget. So this is also the space where you might want to write exact statistics and numbers, since those are usually too hard to memorize accurately. Here's an example of somebody's script. This was what Roxy was going to say. The third reason you should donate to our charity is because Prevent Child Abuse America has been flourishing and fast-moving charity since 1972. Their first national conference was in 1973, just a year after they started. On Prevent Child Abuse's website, it says that in 1984, Prevent Child Abuse America partnered with Marvel Comics to develop a Spider-Man comic book, and it goes on. So she was planning on saying that whole big paragraph out loud. But on her note card that she made, her cue card, this is what it should look like. Notice, at the top, it has her name. It also says slide 3, which is titled Third Reason on their PowerPoint. It also has a little note that says switch places with Victoria, her partner. All of that goes at the top. And then her bullet points, she just has flourishing since 1972, Marvel Comics partner, educate on abuse/neglect, needs support to keep doing this for children and adults. That's it. Those 3 bullet points were supposed to be enough to remind her of her whole paragraph. All you do is write a couple cues. That's it. Here's the way your note cards should look. You should have your name at the top. You should also have the slide number or the slide title at the top. That way, when you drop them all the day of, it's easy to figure out where you left off. You want bullet points with short phrases, you want it to be easy to read handwriting, and you want something that will actually cue or remind you of your lines. And I think that you should only do one slide per index card. At this point, we're going to pause here to create cue cards. This is done individually, not as a group. And we'll probably give you about 10 minutes to do this. If you finish early, you sit there silently and continue to memorize your lines. We'll pause on this screen.